You know, hating on PSG has been fun, but the problem is it gets a little boring because most of the comments are just from other people who collectively hate this club. But man, one Real Madrid video, and it's like you get extra content after the video from the comments section. Last time we talked about Real Madrid, they had just gotten smacked up by a strikerless Arsenal 5-1 on aggregate. By the way, big thank you for over 400k on the video, almost 500k actually, and also we're pretty close to 250,000 subscribers, so I would say a pretty good start to the year. Anyways, now out of the Champions League, Real Madrid's team looked absolutely lost and there was still more for them to lose. Los Blancos were 4 points behind their rivals and the league leaders Barcelona, who were in far better form. They also had the Copa del Rey final in a little over a week. And Real Madrid's relationship with the Copa del Rey has been weirdly complicated. Over the last 24 years, Real Madrid has only ever won this tournament 3 times. It's something you wouldn't expect from such a successful club, but they actually have way more lowlights. In the 2002 Copa del Rey final, they lost to Deportivo La Coruña. In the following year, they lost 5-1 on aggregate to Mallorca in the quarters. The Galacticos then went on to lose another final in 2004 to Real Zaragoza, and then there was the worst of the bunch, like the time that they lost to a 3rd division side in 2008-09. And then the next year, they lost to another 3rd division side, which had a yearly wage bill of less than €1 million. Real Madrid's at the time, 110 million. Needless to say, the Copa del Rey has not been very nice to Real Madrid. And to make things worse, this time they were up against Barcelona in the final. But before we even got to that final, there was a lot of drama. You see, Real Madrid was not satisfied with the official chosen to referee the final, so they did what any sane organization would do and broadcasted propaganda. I'm not kidding. On the club's free-to-air channel in Spain called Real Madrid TV, they created a whole compilation of Copa del Rey final official Ricardo de Burgos' errors made against the club. They also included claims like the fact that Barcelona had won more times than Real Madrid when he was in charge, and also the fact that he had never been called up for a UEFA or FIFA tournament despite being an international official since 2018, which, unless I got the translation wrong, is a blatant lie. Because back in 2022, he was literally the 4th official for Liverpool vs Inter. Now, this isn't anything new. Real Madrid does this shit with other officials before every game, all with the same music you hear from a corny-ass telenovela.
Cuando se internaba en el área, vemos cómo el jugador del Getafe le trastabilla claramente.
Which I have a decent feeling they got this idea from a video about the 2002 World Cup controversies that was made back in 2016. Just give it a watch for a second. Anyways, Real Madrid does this mainly because the whole club believes there's a conspiracy against them, as opposed to the idea that Spanish officials might just be kind of dog shit in general. For example, in Euro 2024, Spanish officials were assigned just 1 single game throughout the whole tournament. That was 5 less officials than Italy, and do you know how bad you gotta be to be trusted less than the Italians? And who could forget La Rosa's poorly officiated quarterfinal game between Argentina and the Netherlands in World Cup 2022. Now I understand there's the Negreira investigation, which basically revolves around Barcelona paying the former vice president of the Referees Association between the years of 2000 and 2018. But are we really going to act like this is all a conspiracy when this challenge was given just a 1-game suspension 2 weeks ago? Ironically enough though, Real Madrid TV has a pretty low viewership. However, because of the media in the country, these particular referee conspiracy packages tend to blow up and make the rounds. This comes to a point where the officials themselves can't even ignore these broadcasts anymore. Friday, April 25th, in a press conference, Ricardo de Burgos addressed the broadcast that attacked him in particular, and he got pretty emotional about it.
Cuando un hijo tuyo va al colegio y hay niños que le dicen que su padre es un ladrón y llega a casa llorando, eso es muy jodido. Lo que hago en mi caso es intentar educar a mi hijo, ¿vale? Para decirle que su padre es honrado, sobre todo honrado, que se equivoca como un deportista más, ¿vale? Y eso es muy jodido, ¿eh? No se lo deseo a nadie.
And this showing of vulnerability had Real Madrid seething and frothing at their mouths with their own statement just a few hours later. They stated that De Burgos' comments were of a bigger premeditated offensive of hostility towards the club. Guys, you made a ref cry because his family was affected by your TV network. Come on. And then Real Madrid had the audacity to claim Freedom of speech. Oh yeah, people in real life might be calling you a thief because of our totally not fabricated propaganda, but the freedom of speech, the First Amendment, we have the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. Real Madrid TV also made their own statement, which basically just said it was well within its own rights to broadcast these videos, adding, others who don't have a television channel criticize referees as well, but apparently Real Madrid is the only one that's accused of attacking football. Which, I mean, you know, yeah, I feel like there's a pretty distinct difference between, say, a fan channel or a random fan in South Asia saying the ref is shit and the literal club itself. You know, a club that has access to the media and a following of millions of rabid dogs that the club gave birth to through their toxicity and their entitlement? Because on the same day of the press conference, the Spanish Federation was informed that Real Madrid would not hold a press conference or an official training session prior to the final. This led many to believe that Real Madrid was going to boycott the final, especially after a source close to the club said that they were requesting the referee team be changed. And the president of the federation did a terrible job of denying these rumors, saying, quote, a request to change the refs was not on the table, and then immediately followed that up by saying there was talk about it. Incredible work, guys. Real Madrid, realizing they couldn't duck Barcelona, then made another statement 2 hours after the first regarding the rumors, and at this point it was just kind of getting comical. Our club understands that the unfortunate and inappropriate statements made by the referees designated for this match made 24 hours before the final cannot taint a sporting event of global significance.
This all happened so fast and I lost sight of who I was. I mean, you know, sure, you were in a little over your head, but... Whoa. I was in over my head? Yeah, but Stewie, this isn't about all the things you did wrong. It's about me apologizing. Okay, then apologize. I just did. No, you didn't. You just said it's about me apologizing. That's not actually apologizing. All right, Stewie, I'm sorry that I made you uncomfortable and put you in a situation that you clearly couldn't handle. Okay, there it is again. What the hell? Stop with that! You're right. This is about healing. This is not about how many things you messed up along the way. It's about how badly I reacted to them.
Saturday, April 26th. At long last, the 2025 Copa del Rey final has arrived, and right off the bat, Real Madrid are getting dominated by their rivals. Then in the 27th minute, a Bellingham pass gets intercepted. He just kind of stands there, and that leaves Pedri to lob it upfield, and then moments later have a shot completely unmarked, and now Real Madrid are down 1-0 already. The first half doesn't get any better as Los Blancos let their rivals step on them as if they have no self-respect. In fact, after the first 45, Real had just one shot off target and about 3 offsides. Speaking of which, into the second half, on comes offside man himself, and immediately Real Madrid feels his presence.
But here's Mbappe with an opportunity. Can he produce something here?
Jokes aside though, Real Madrid looked a whole lot more dangerous in the second half, and after getting closer and closer with every attempt, Kylian Mbappe scores his first ever direct free kick in the 70th minute. Then 6 minutes later, Turkish god Arda Güler and Aurelien Tchouameni connect on the corner, and Real Madrid have miraculously turned this one around. But then the defense of Los Blancos strikes again. Just 6 minutes later, a defender is frazzled by a ball over the top for about the 800th time this season, and it's 2-2. And the gift just keeps on giving from this backline, as in the 5th minute of stoppage time, leave it to EDP. Fortunately for Abstencio though, Rafinha sells worse than the great Kali. Into extra time now, both teams are taking turns trading blows, and even despite everything that's gone wrong, Real still has a chance to win silverware. A testament to not only the best club, but the best legacy in world football. Oh fuck, not again! Oh no, wait, but hold on. Mbappe gets free and immediately is clattered by the Barca swine. Despicable. Es un penal Real Madrid. Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised. But here comes Mbappe again into the 1st minute of stoppage time, but it's going the other way because of a foul. How dare this thief call something we literally complained wasn't called in our compilation we made about him? The events that followed this were just downright pathetic. A couple players, including Vinny, come out from the bench onto the pitch, screaming at the ref. And then Antonio Rudiger, a guy who has managed to dodge like 8 red cards this season, throws a whole ass fit and also even some ice at the ref. See, Real Madrid fans, we don't hate your club because you're the best. Because if that was really the only reason, we'd at least least have some respect. Issue is, no one has respect for Real Madrid. Because constantly, this club whines and whines and whines. It's always the fact that everyone's against Real Madrid. You know, Real Madrid, they can do no wrong. They've never done wrong. Such insane entitlement that makes you more of a joke than anything else. Also, has anyone ever noticed the club's number fonts this season? Like, they try so hard to be this elegant club. And then they'll follow that up by responding to a ref's grievances about their family being affected by making it all about themselves, and even threatening to boycott the cup final. Like, come on! Oh, but Maxwell, you're an Arsenal fan. An Arsenal fan. Arsenal fans can't be speaking. They have 0 trophies and are also super delusional. Which, yes, you're absolutely right. We are very delusional. And we also don't have a single trophy this season. But here's the thing. We're delusional. Y'all are straight fucking deranged. Anyways, Real Madrid went on to lose the final 3-2, entirely the fault of the referee, of course. So now that leaves just La Liga for Real Madrid. They're not really out of it yet, but they do have a game in Barcelona, which again, they sure as hell ain't beating them. Anyways, I can't wait to read the comments when this video comes out. Of course, though, a massive shout out to all our members, including Janos Balas, Luke RBB, Aresan, Brazilian Fury, Jeremiah Owusu Ajimang, Valera, Django, Anazir Makalankam, Alex Rod, Sliderkit, Taco Gofan, Ketra Agat, St. Terrence, Sylvia Citrus, Raspberry Enthusiast, Cheesebait, Winter Gel, Finn Likes Rugby More, Davox, The Portugizer, Polo Protos, Van Fan, Lucien Von Kreuz, Gezerkish Beshikivics, A Ghostly Owl, Coney Wolves, Lickstab, Mutanai, Sketchy Card, Apollo, Congo Jazz 1, German Sayo 7, Thrilling ADT 13, Los Milos, Le James Braun, Vecino, Jamie Vardy's 10th Red Bull, Nightwalker, Knapside, Money Cash Hose, Quantavious Pork, Lilia Lover, Stewed Monk, Tyler A. Davis, Kev C, Dominic Griffin, Kyler Krebs, Mohammed Altanib, Nish, Patrick Barley, Rashford God 5, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to become a member on the channel, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, follow me on Instagram if you like, follow me on Twitch because I will be doing a PSG Arsenal watch-along stream, I think Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. But until then, I'll see you guys. Tony Cruz, Tony Cruz, Tony Cruz, Tony Cruz, Tony Cruz, Tony Cruz, Tony Cruz.